The deep space research vessel Artemis drifted silently through the outer reaches of the Carina Nebula, its sensors scanning the cosmic debris field that stretched endlessly before it. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge's observation window, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling colors of the nebula. 20 years of space exploration had taught her that the universe's greatest discoveries often came when least expected. "Captain, we're picking up something unusual," Lieutenant Maya Rodriguez called from her station, her fingers dancing across the holographic display. Well, I've never seen anything like it." Sarah moved to the sensor station, studying the readings that flickered across the screen. The signal was unlike anything in their database, a complex pattern of energy pulses that seemed to defy conventional physics. "Can you isolate the source?" "Already working on it," Maya replied, adjusting the sensor array. "It's coming from somewhere in that debris field, but there's significant interference." The Artemis had been tasked with mapping this sector of space, part of humanity's ongoing effort to expand their understanding of the galaxy. But this signal, this was something entirely different. Sarah felt a familiar tension in her shoulders, the kind that always preceded a major discovery. "Dr. Harrison, what's your take on this?" Sarah called to their chief scientist, who was already absorbed in analyzing the data. James Harrison looked up from his station, his gray hair disheveled as usual. "It's artificial, without question. The pattern is too precise to be natural. But the energy signature, it's operating on principles we barely understand. Whatever this is, it's far beyond our current technology." Sarah made her decision. "Maya, plot us a course through the debris field. James, keep analyzing that signal. I want to know everything about it before we get too close." As the Artemis carefully navigated through the field of cosmic debris, the signal grew stronger. The ship's AI, continuously updated their shields to protect against the surrounding chaos of rock and ice. The crew worked in focused silence, each person aware that they were possibly on the verge of making history. "Captain," Maya's voice cut through the quiet, "I think you need to see this." The main view screen activated, showing what lay ahead of them. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. There, partially hidden behind a massive piece of celestial debris, was a ship. But not just any ship. This vessel was enormous, its dark hull seeming to absorb the very light around it. Its design was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered, with smooth organic curves that somehow managed to look both beautiful and terrifying. "AI, full scan," Sarah ordered, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "I want to know what we're dealing with." The ship's AI responded in its characteristically calm tone. "Scanning now, Captain." Initial results indicate the vessel is approximately 3 kilometers in length. Power readings are minimal, suggesting it is currently dormant. Hull composition is unknown. The material does not match any known elements in our database. Life signs negative, Captain. The vessel appears to be abandoned. However, I am detecting an active energy signature at its core, matching the signal we've been tracking. Sarah studied the mysterious ship, her mind racing with possibilities. This wasn't just a random derelict. This was something far more significant. The design, the technology, the sheer scale of it. This ship could change everything. "James, what do you make of this?" she asked, knowing their scientists would already be forming theories. "It's incredible," he replied, his voice filled with barely contained excitement. "The engineering principles alone are centuries beyond anything we've achieved. But what's most interesting is the age. Based on the surrounding debris pattern and material degradation, this ship has been here for at least 10,000 years." The bridge crew exchanged glances. 10,000 years, yet the ship still maintained an active power signature. The implications were staggering. "Captain," AI interrupted, "I'm detecting a change in the energy signature. The vessel appears to be responding to our presence." Before Sarah could reply, a beam of light suddenly erupted from the ancient ship, scanning the Artemis from bow to stern. The crew tensed, but Sarah held up a hand, signaling them to hold position. The scan lasted only seconds, but in its wake, something changed. The dormant vessel began to show signs of life, lights flickering across its hull like neural pathways awakening. Then, without warning, a message appeared on their communication display, not in any known language, but somehow translating itself before their eyes. Genetic verification complete. Human presence confirmed. Initiating primary protocols. Sarah watched as more systems on the ancient vessel came online, its massive form seeming to stir from a millennia-long slumber. Whatever this ship was, whoever had built it, they had apparently been waiting for humans to find it. "Orders, Captain," Maya asked, her hand hovering over the navigation controls. Sarah Chen had made countless decisions in her career, but none quite like this. She could feel the weight of the moment, the potential implications of what they'd discovered. This wasn't just about finding an alien artifact. This was about humanity's next step into the cosmos. "Prepare a boarding team," she announced, her decision made. "Whatever this ship is, whatever its purpose, we need to understand it. And something tells me we don't have much time to figure it out." As her crew began preparations for boarding the mysterious vessel, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they had just stumbled upon something that would change the course of human history. What she didn't know was just how right she was, and how unprepared humanity might be for what was about to come. The boarding team moved through the ancient vessel's corridors in eerie silence, their footsteps echoing against metal that had waited millennia for human contact. Captain Sarah Chen led the group, accompanied by Dr. Harrison, their security chief Marcus Wong, and 2 engineering specialists. Their helmet lights cast long shadows on walls covered in intricate patterns that seemed to shift in the darkness. "These patterns," Dr. Harrison murmured, running his scanner over the surface, "they're not just decorative. They're circuitry, but on a scale I've never seen before. The entire ship is essentially one massive quantum computer." Marcus kept his hand near his weapon, years of security training making him wary of the unknown. Anyone else notice how the air's perfectly breathable? A ship this old shouldn't have functioning life support. He was right. Despite its age, the vessel had begun activating systems the moment they'd stepped aboard. The air was clean, gravity was Earth standard, and the temperature was slowly rising to human comfortable levels. It was as if the ship was waking up, preparing itself for them. "Captain," Maya's voice came through their comms from the Artemis, "we're detecting power fluctuations throughout the vessel. Whatever's happening in there, it's accelerating." Sarah watched as more circuits in the walls began to glow with a soft blue light. "Copy that. James, any idea where we should be heading?" The scientist consulted his readings. "The energy signatures are strongest toward the center of the ship. If I'm reading this correctly, there's some kind of central chamber about half a kilometer ahead." As they made their way deeper into the vessel, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Not in a hostile way, but rather like they were being evaluated. Every door opened automatically for them, every system they needed activated just before they reached it. They reached a massive circular doorway that slowly rised open at their approach. Beyond it lay a vast chamber that took their breath away. A sphere of swirling energy hung suspended in the center, surrounded by floating holographic displays and control interfaces that sparked to life as they entered. "This is incredible," Dr. Harrison breathed, moving toward one of the displays. "The technology here, it's not just advanced, it's evolved. This ship wasn't just built, it was grown." Before Sarah could respond, a voice filled the chamber, not through their comms, but seemingly from the air itself. It spoke in perfect English, though with an oddly musical quality that marked it as definitively non-human. "Welcome, children of Earth. I am the Nexus Protocol, custodian of this vessel. You have been expected." The team exchanged glances, but Sarah stepped forward. "I'm Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth research vessel Artemis." "What do you mean, we were expected?" The energy sphere pulsed gently as the AI responded. "My creators, the predecessors, knew that humanity would one day reach the stars. They saw your potential, your unique ability to adapt and overcome. This vessel was left as both a gift and a warning. A warning about what? Marcus asked, his hand still near his weapon. About those who would seek to prevent your ascension. Even now, they approach. The Nexus Collective has detected our awakening. Holographic displays flickered to life around them, showing multiple ships emerging from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the system. Their design was aggressive, predatory, leaving no doubt about their intentions. The Collective believes themselves to be the rightful inheritors of the galaxy, the AI continued. They have suppressed dozens of emerging civilizations, preventing any from challenging their dominion. But humanity was hidden from them, allowed to develop in secret, protected by the very nebula that concealed this vessel. Sarah's mind raced with the implications, and now we've exposed ourselves by finding you. Correct. The Collective will not allow humanity to gain access to this vessel's power. They will attempt to destroy both you and this ship rather than risk your species' advancement. Dr. Harrison was already studying the tactical displays. These ships, their technology is unlike anything in our database, but still far less advanced than this vessel. Why would they risk attacking us? Because they fear what you might become, the AI replied. The predecessors chose humanity for a reason. Your species possesses something unique, an ability to understand and adapt to new technologies at an unprecedented rate. This vessel was designed to respond to that ability, to grow and evolve alongside you. Captain, Maya's voice cut in urgently. The alien ships are moving into attack formation. They're charging weapons. Sarah felt the weight of command settle onto her shoulders. This wasn't just about making first contact or discovering ancient technology anymore. This was about humanity's survival. How long until they're in range? 10 minutes, maximum. The AI's voice remained calm. Captain Chen, you must make a choice. This vessel can be awakened fully, its systems bonded to human control. But the process is irreversible, and it will forever change the course of your species' development. The power contained within this ship was meant to be discovered gradually, over decades. Circumstances now force us to accelerate that timeline. Sarah looked at her team, seeing the mix of fear and determination in their eyes. They had trained for first contact scenarios, for scientific discoveries, but this was something else entirely. This was the moment humanity would be thrust onto the galactic stage, ready or not. What happens if we bond with the ship? She asked. The vessel's systems will recognize human genetic patterns as legitimate command protocols. You will gain access to technologies beyond your current understanding, but the ship's AI will help you adapt to them. However, be warned. The Collective will see this as an act of war. They will not stop until either they are defeated or humanity is exterminated. The tactical displays showed the alien ships moving closer, their weapons charged and ready. Sarah Chen had always known that humanity's journey to the stars would eventually lead to this moment. First contact with a hostile alien force. She just hadn't expected it to come with such high stakes. Maya, she called to the Artemis, begin evacuation procedures. Transfer all essential personnel to this vessel. We're about to find out if humanity is ready for the next step. As her crew rushed to comply with her orders, Sarah turned back to the AI. Begin the bonding process. Whatever happens next, we face it together. The energy sphere in the center of the chamber began to pulse more rapidly, its light growing brighter. Throughout the massive ship, systems that had lain dormant for millennia surged to life. The legend was awakening, and with it, humanity's destiny among the stars. The ancient warship's systems hummed with power as the last of the Artemis crew transferred aboard. Sarah stood at the newly activated command center, her mind still adjusting to the neural interface the ship had established with her. Information flowed directly into her consciousness. Weapon systems, shield configurations, engine capabilities that defied known physics. Collective vessels entering weapons range in 2 minutes, Maya reported from her new station. The familiar controls from the Artemis had been replicated by the ship's adaptive systems, helping the crew transition to their new roles. How are we looking, Marcus? Sarah asked her security chief, who was rapidly assimilating the ship's defensive capabilities. "Shield systems are unlike anything I've ever seen," he replied, his eyes moving across holographic displays that responded to his thoughts. "They don't just block attacks, they can absorb and redirect energy. But I'm still learning how to control them." The Nexus Protocol's voice resonated through the command center. "Your neural adaptation rate exceeds all projected models. The predecessors chose well. Let's hope we're learning fast enough," Sarah muttered, watching as the collective fleet spread out into an attack formation. 5 capital ships, each backed by smaller support vessels, all bristling with weapons that could reduce a normal human vessel to atoms. "Incoming transmission," Maya announced. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies again." A harsh voice of the collective filled the chamber, but this time it carried an edge of desperation. "Humanity, you have corrupted predecessor technology beyond acceptable parameters. Your species represents an unacceptable deviation from established evolutionary paths. Surrender now, and we will grant you a quick extinction." Sarah's response was calm but firm. "This is Captain Sarah Chen. We will not surrender, and we will not be extinct. Humanity has found its path, and we will not be turned aside from it." The response came in the form of weapons fire. The collective fleet launched a synchronized barrage that lit up space like an artificial sun. But Sarah was ready. Through the neural interface, she guided the ship through impossible maneuvers, its quantum fields bending space itself to avoid the worst of the attack. "Multiple hostiles launching dimensional weapons," Marcus warned. "They're trying to trap us in pocket universes. They're also attempting to disrupt our quantum field coherence," Dr. Harrison added. "If they succeed, they could sever our connection to the ship." Sarah closed her eyes, deepening her connection to the ship's eye. "Nexus, it's time. Show them what humanity and predecessor technology can really do together." The ship's response was immediate. Energy coursed through systems that had been evolving for this very moment. The quantum processors, enhanced by human creativity and intuition, began calculations that crossed the boundaries of conventional physics. "All hands," Sarah commanded. "Execute pattern Omega. Let's show them why the predecessors chose humanity." The ancient warship moved like a dancer through space, its movements guided by both human instinct and artificial precision. Where the collective expected rigid, programmed responses, they found unpredictable, creative solutions. Every attack they launched was met with a counter that shouldn't have been possible. "Their formation is breaking," Maya reported with excitement. "They can't predict our movement patterns." "Because we're not following patterns," Sarah replied. "We're creating them as we go. Marcus, target their command ships. Time to show them our own evolution." The ship's weapons had changed, adapted by the merger of human and AI thinking. Instead of simple energy beams, they fired streams of concentrated quantum possibility, turning the collective's own dimensional technology against them. Ships caught in the attack found themselves facing probability cascades that their systems couldn't handle. "Enemy vessels are experiencing critical failures," Marcus reported. "Their quantum fields are collapsing." But the collective wasn't finished. Their remaining ships began a suicidal charge, hoping to overwhelm them through sheer numbers. Space itself seemed to warp and twist as they unleashed weapons that endangered the very fabric of reality. "They're getting desperate," Dr. Harrison warned. "These energy readings, they're willing to tear apart this entire sector of space to stop us." Sarah felt a new possibility through the neural interface, a strategy that combined predecessor technology with humanity's greatest strength, the ability to leap into the unknown. "Everyone, brace yourselves," she commanded. "We're about to try something that's never been done before." Through her connection with the ship, Sarah initiated a sequence that even the AI had considered theoretical. The ship's quantum processors began generating a field that didn't just bend spacetime. It rewrote the local laws of physics themselves. "By all known science, this shouldn't be possible," Dr. Harrison gasped, watching his readings. "We're not just using the rules of reality. We're changing them." The space around them transformed. The collective ships found their weapons useless, their technology fighting against laws of physics that no longer functioned as they should. In this new reality, shaped by the combined creativity of human and AI, their supposed superiority meant nothing. "Their ships are retreating," Maya called out. "No, they're running. The entire fleet is breaking formation." Sarah opened her eyes, watching through the quantum-enhanced views as the mighty collective armada fled in disarray. They had done more than win a battle. They had shown that humanity's path to advancement was something entirely new, something that even the masters of the galaxy couldn't comprehend or counter. "Get me a broadcast channel," she ordered. "The collective needs to hear this." "Minor systems damage only," Marcus replied. "The ship's repair systems are already addressing it. We're actually in better shape than when we started. The combat data has improved our shield configurations by almost 30%. Dr. Harrison was practically bouncing with excitement. The way the ship adapted, the way it integrated with human consciousness. This goes beyond any technological advancement in human history. We're not just using this ship, we're evolving with it. But Sarah's attention was on the tactical displays, showing the direction the collective ships had fled. "They'll be back," she said quietly. "And next time they'll bring a bigger fleet." Indeed, the Nexus Protocol confirmed. The collective will not accept this defeat. They will return with everything they have. But now they know what humanity is capable of, and that knowledge will frighten them more than any weapon. Sarah looked at her crew, seeing the same determination in their eyes that she felt. They had crossed a threshold today, proving that humanity could stand against the galaxy's greatest powers. But she knew this was just the beginning. "Then we better make sure we're ready for them," she declared. "It's time humanity took its place among the stars." In the aftermath of their victory, the ancient warship's central chamber had become a hive of activity. Dr. Harrison worked feverishly at multiple holographic displays, decoding vast archives of data that the ship had begun revealing to them. Captain Chen watched as symbols and equations scrolled past, each one hinting at technologies that could revolutionize human civilization. "Captain," Dr. Harrison called out, his voice trembling with excitement, "you need to see this. The ship's archives. They're not just technical data. They're a history, a warning." Sarah moved to his station, the neural interface allowing her to instantly comprehend the complex information displayed. What she saw made her blood run cold. "Maya, Marcus, everyone needs to hear this." As the crew gathered, the Nexus Protocol's avatar materialized in their midst, its energy form seeming more troubled than usual. "You have found the truth about my creators, and why they chose humanity." The holographic displays shifted, showing images of a civilization far beyond anything humanity had achieved. The predecessors had built works that dwarfed stars, had mastered the fundamental forces of the universe itself. But among the images of their achievements was something else, scenes of devastation, of entire galaxies dark and lifeless. The predecessors weren't just an advanced civilization, Dr. Harrison explained, his voice hushed. They were the first civilization in this galaxy to achieve true technological singularity. They transcended physical form itself. But they weren't the only ones, Sarah continued, understanding flowing through the neural link. There were others, weren't there? Other races that reached the same level. Yes, the AI confirmed. The civilization you know as the collective was once like the predecessors. They too achieved technological transcendence, but their path led to something dark, something that threatens the very fabric of existence itself. The displays showed new images, vast fleets of ships unlike even the collective vessels they had faced, radiating energies that seemed to corrupt space itself. "The collective you fought," the AI continued, "they are merely the physical servants of their transcended masters. The true collective exists in a state beyond normal space-time, and they seek to remake all of reality in their image." Marcus stepped forward, his tactical mind already processing the implications. That's why they suppress other civilizations. They're preventing anyone else from reaching their level. Correct. The predecessors fought a war against them, a war that spanned millions of years and countless galaxies, but they realized that conventional victory was impossible. The collective had become too powerful, too entrenched in the fundamental nature of space-time itself. So they created this ship, Sarah said softly. But it's more than just a weapon, isn't it? The AI's form pulsed with confirmation. This vessel is a key, the last hope of the predecessors. They saw in humanity something unique, a potential that neither they nor the collective had possessed. Your species' ability to adapt, to change, to evolve without losing your essential nature. It is unprecedented in the history of the galaxy. Dr. Harrison's eyes widened as he decoded more data. The ship's quantum systems, the way they adapt and evolve with us. It's not just about making the technology more efficient. The predecessors were trying to find a different path to transcendence, a path that wouldn't lead to what the collective became, Sarah realized. They weren't just giving us a weapon to fight back. They were trying to ensure that when humanity finally reached that level of advancement, we wouldn't repeat their mistakes. The displays shifted again, showing complex quantum calculations that seemed to twist in impossible ways. The collective's attack was not just about destroying this vessel, the AI explained. They sensed what was happening, the beginning of a new form of technological evolution, one that merges the best aspects of organic life with advanced technology, without sacrificing either. Maya, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. The way the ship bonds with us, the neural interface, it's changing us, isn't it? But not like what happened to the collective. We're not losing our humanity. We're enhancing it. Precisely. The predecessors believed that humanity's path to advancement needed to be different. Not a transcendence that abandoned physical form, but an evolution that preserved it. A perfect synthesis of organic and artificial, maintaining the balance that both the predecessors and the collective lost. Sarah felt the weight of this revelation settle over her, and now the collective knows. That's why they'll return with everything they have. We're not just a threat to their power. We represent everything they turned away from, everything they fear. We're also what they can never be again, Dr. Harrison added quietly. A chance for a different kind of future. The neural interface suddenly pulsed with new information, and Sarah's eyes widened. There's more, isn't there? This ship, it's not unique. There are others. Yes, the AI confirmed. Hidden throughout the galaxy are more vessels like this one, each containing different aspects of the predecessor's legacy, each waiting for humanity to find them, to unlock new potentials. But the collective will now hunt them with renewed vigor, seeking to destroy them before humanity can claim its inheritance. Marcus studied the tactical displays with growing concern. How long do we have before they return? Days at most. They will gather every ship, every weapon they possess. The attack you repelled was merely a fraction of their true military power. Sarah stood straight, her decision made. Then we need to prepare. Maya, start analyzing the data for the locations of the other ships. Marcus, work with the AI to fully understand our combat capabilities. Dr. Harrison, I want to know everything about how this ship is changing us, and what it means for humanity's future. As her crew rushed to comply, Sarah stared out at the stars through the ship's quantum-enhanced viewing systems. The predecessors had placed humanity's future in their hands, trusting them to find a better path than the one that had led to such devastation. Now they had to prove worthy of that trust, not just for humanity's sake, but for the fate of all life in the galaxy. The true scale of their responsibility was becoming clear, and with it, the understanding that their next battle would determine not just humanity's survival, but the very course of cosmic evolution itself. The vast emptiness of space lit up with the arrival of the collective armada. Hundreds of ships emerged from faster-than-light travel, their hulls gleaming with dark energy. It was the largest fleet ever assembled in this sector of the galaxy, a force meant to ensure humanity's extinction. Sarah Chen stood at the command center of the predecessor vessel, watching through enhanced sensors as the enemy fleet took formation. The neural interface hummed with activity, ship and human minds working in perfect synchronization. "That's a lot of ships," Maya whispered, her hand steady on the navigation controls despite the overwhelming odds they faced. "I count 342 capital ships," Marcus reported, with at least twice that number in support vessels. They really did bring everything they had. Dr. Harrison looked up from his station, where he'd been monitoring the ship's evolutionary progress. "The good news is that our integration with the ship's systems has improved exponentially. The quantum processors are now operating at efficiency levels that the predecessors themselves never achieved." Sarah felt it through the neural link. The ship had indeed grown stronger, its systems evolving in ways that even its creators hadn't anticipated. The merger of human intuition with the ship's advanced technology had created something entirely new. "Incoming transmission," Maya announced. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies." A harsh, multi-tone voice filled the chamber. "Attention, human vessels. You have accessed restricted technology beyond your species designation level. Surrender the predecessor vessel immediately or face extinction. You have 30 seconds to comply." Sarah's jaw tightened. "Send them our response. This ship was left for humanity. We will not surrender it or ourselves to those who would suppress our development." "Enemy vessels launching fighter squadrons," Marcus reported. "Multiple weapon systems charging." "All hands, brace for combat," Sarah commanded. "Maya, plot us an evasive course. Marcus, shields at maximum. Let's show them what humanity can do." The first wave of attacks came like a storm of light. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaked toward them from multiple vectors. But the ancient warship moved with impossible grace, its systems responding to Sarah's thoughts faster than any verbal command. The few hits that landed were absorbed by the shields, the energy redirected into the ship's power reserves. "Shield efficiency at 115%, Marcus reported with amazement. "The attacks are actually making us stronger." "Collected vessels adjusting tactics," Maya called out. "They're trying to surround us." Sarah felt the ship's weapon systems through the neural interface, understanding their capabilities instinctively. "Target the nearest capital ship. Let's show them what this vessel can really do." Energy gathered at multiple points along the hull, coalescing into beams of pure quantum force. When they struck the enemy vessel, they didn't just damage it. They phased through its shields as if they didn't exist, cutting through armor plating like paper. "Direct hit," Marcus shouted. "Enemy vessel's power systems are cascading." The collective ship's reactor went critical, the explosion forcing its companions to break formation. But they recovered quickly, launching a coordinated attack that showed why they had dominated this sector of space for so long. "Multiple impacts," Maya reported as the ship shuddered. "They're adapting to our weapon's signature." Dr. Harrison's voice cut through the chaos. "Captain, I'm reading something interesting in the power core. The ship isn't just fighting, it's learning from each exchange. It's evolving its systems in real time." Sarah felt it through the neural link. The ship was indeed adapting, its quantum processors analyzing each attack and response, refining its systems with each passing second. But the collective ships were also adjusting their tactics, their attacks becoming more coordinated and precise. "They're targeting our sensor arrays," Marcus warned. "Trying to blind us." Sarah closed her eyes, letting the neural interface deepen. She could feel every system, every circuit of the massive vessel. The ship's AI merged with her consciousness, showing her possibilities she never would have conceived of. New targeting solutions available. The Nexus protocol announced. "Caution, proposed tactics exceed standard safety parameters." "Show me," Sarah commanded. Through the interface, she saw it, a way to use the ship's quantum systems to create localized tiers in spacetime, micro-singularities that could disrupt the enemy vessels at a fundamental level. The calculations required are beyond human capability. the AI warned. Sarah smiled grimly. Then it's a good thing we're working together. Maya, plot an attack vector through their formation. Marcus, prepare to redirect all shield energy to weapons on my mark. The massive ship accelerated, its advanced engines pushing it to speeds that should have been impossible. The collective fleet responded, their weapons filling space with deadly energy. Now, Sarah commanded. The ancient warships systems executed her plan with perfect precision. Space itself seemed to twist around them as quantum singularities formed and collapsed in microseconds. Two more collective capital ships were caught in the distortions, their hulls breaking apart as fundamental forces tore at them. Remaining enemy vessels are retreating, Maya reported, her voice tight with controlled excitement. They're jumping to FTL. The command center fell silent as the last collective ships disappeared into hyperspace. They had done it, humanity's first major space battle, and they had emerged victorious against a technologically superior force. Damage report, Sarah called out, finally relaxing her connection to the neural interface slightly. When the channel opened, Sarah's voice carried the weight of humanity's first true victory among the stars. To the collective, this is humanity's path. Not transcendence through abandonment of our physical form, not evolution through the rejection of our nature, but advancement through the union of organic and artificial, of intuition and logic, of creativity and calculation. We are not your enemy. We are your future. The future that you could have had if you hadn't lost yourselves in the pursuit of false perfection. The remaining collective ships vanished into hyperspace, leaving behind the wreckage of their defeated fleet. In the command center, the crew of the predecessor vessel sat in stunned silence, absorbing the magnitude of what they had achieved. It's not over, Marcus said finally. They'll be back. No, Dr. Harrison corrected, studying the quantum readings. They won't. Not like this. What we did here, we didn't just defeat them. We showed them a path they didn't know existed. The data suggests our quantum field alterations affected their ship's core programming. They'll never be able to look at evolution the same way again. Sarah felt the truth of it through the neural interface. The ship had grown beyond its original design, just as humanity was growing beyond its original limitations. Together, they had created something that neither the predecessors nor the collective had imagined possible. So what now, Captain? Maya asked, looking out at the star-filled expanse before them. Sarah smiled, feeling the hum of possibility through her connection with the ship. Now we find the other vessels. We show humanity its true potential, and we prove that the predecessors were right, that there is a way to advance, to evolve, without losing what makes us human. The ancient warship turned gracefully, its systems now permanently transformed by its union with its human crew. As they prepared to return to Earth, Sarah knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity had found its path to the stars, and nothing would ever be the same.